Hey, yo, we are live. Welcome to the Sports Behavior Podcast. Of course, I'm your host, OG the Beast, here with my co-host. As always, he ain't going nowhere. The legendary Chilltown 32 Unc. What's popping? How you feeling today?
This basketball season, it's
It's
football season.
everything
Stop
season.
playing,
It's
yo.
jumped
Stop
off. We in
playing.
here.
What?
We in
Hey,
the
we in the
house.
house.
Like I'm so
Yeah,
happy to
we
be
in the
here, and I'm
house.
glad for everybody to be here. We ain't got as many people in here as we normally do, but that's to be expected with the tip off, and everything going on. Like it's just the best time of the year. The worst time of the year is like
Mm-hmm.
July. You know what I'm saying? Like August, September. It's coming, it's approaching, but it's not here yet. And now we finally here. We got
Mm-hmm.
basketball, we got football. It's going on at the same time, and it's my favorite time of the year. But we gonna jump the show off
Mm-hmm.
with something interesting. It's been a lot of drama surrounding the tip off of tonight's game. Philadelphia is housing some issues, and what else is new? I'm an Eagles fan, so I get it. I'm not too much of a Sixers fan. I'm a Chicagoan, so I like to stay true to mine. But
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to this
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia 76ers team and this Ben Simmons saga, man, he gets suspended for a game. But that's not where it started, right? It started with this man getting kicked out of practice. From what I've been told, Doc Rivers told Ben Simmons, "Hey, we got to do a defensive drill." Ben Simmons objected to it. Showed up with his phone in his pocket of his sweatpants. Sixers shirt, sweatshirt, sleeves cut off, phone hanging out his pocket like he ain't give a damn. Coach say, "Hey, we got to run some drills on the second day." Second day he shows up. We got to run some drills, defensive drills. He says no. Obviously, it was with some sort of attitude. So Doc Rivers decides to kick Ben Simmons out of practice, and following that is the one-game suspension. Then we got Joel Embiid up at the podium discussing how he felt about the situation, and this is why I like Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is a real dude,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not going to take no shit from nobody. He don't give a damn who you are or what you stand for. He's going to speak his mind, and I love it about Joel Embiid. He went up there and kept it a whole buck. Told everybody basically, look, I don't really care for this dude. Like, he want to do his own thing. That's him. I'm more focused on trying to get this team some dubs and moving forward. If Ben don't want to be here, let him go. What the hell is going on in Philadelphia right now?
Well, it started last season, and the reason why it started last season was because of what happened in the post game and in the playoffs. And instead of saying after that series ended, Ben Simmons was not the reason why we lost. We lost. It wasn't just him. So instead, they compounded it with, Coach, do you think you can win it with Ben Simmons? I don't know. Well, that's not helping. That
At
that that,
all.
that doesn't help at all. That's the same as saying to a chick when she asks,
Oh,
"Are you gonna marry me?" Well, I don't know. We've been hanging out for
oh
5
no.
years, and I don't know if you're gonna marry.
Right.
What are we doing?
You wasting my
What exactly
time.
are we doing? So now we get to that point. So basically, what happened? The media and the fans, they all piled on. Doc Rivers and Embiid, they basically compounded it. So Ben Simmons is now feeling some type of way. What type of way is he feeling? Well, he's feeling like, yo, these dudes jumped me and y'all ain't do nothing
Mm.
about it. Y'all just stood there and watched. I ain't saying that y'all got in on it. You just basically stood there and watched. So now we at a point where Ben stays away. He says he wants to get traded. Very similar to a relationship where, we have words and it's ugly. Doc Rivers figured some time passed and, maybe we can hash this out. Let's get this dude back in camp. Let's see if we could work this thing out. Not realizing how cut
Right.
Ben was and how hurt he
Mm-hmm.
was about this and the fact that they never dealt with this. I don't want to talk to none of you people. I don't have anything to say
Right.
to none of y'all. So Doc figured, let's get him in camp and let's see if we can work this out. Nah, we can't work this out. So also the report was, Ben had a cell phone on him. Turns out it was his practice shirt. He had a practice shirt in his pocket instead of
Was
his
it?
cell phone. That's what it
So it
was.
wasn't no
Yeah, it
cell
was his
phone?
practice shirt.
That
No, it was his
ruins the whole
practice shirt, but it looked like,
story. You shouldn't have
yeah,
told me
that's
that.
what
You
it looked
just
like.
told me Santa Claus
I'm
doesn't
sorry.
exist. You should have
I'm
kept that
sorry, my man.
story
But
going. The
it,
cell phone
it,
sound
it,
better, man.
it does sound so much better. But the problem that we having is that this relationship now is at a point of
Yeah.
no return. Because you already heard what Joel Embiid said. Joel Embiid essentially said, look, my man, I don't deal with you. I don't want nothing to do with you. Don't ask me no questions about him. Not because I don't want to talk about him, because I'm done talking about this dude. I'm done talking about him. I'm done talking about this situation. We got a group here, and this is the group we rolling with. That dude could do whatever he wanted
I mess
to
with
do.
that.
I don't care. So when you get to that point, he's out. Embiid is out. That means if Embiid is out, he's probably
Facts.
speaking for the rest of the crew. They out too. And if they out, ain't no reason for this thing to continue. The problem that we have in OBs is today is October the 19th. We can't move this dude
Why
until
is that,
December 15th. So we got 2 months. That's the trade. That's the first opportunity you have to trade people. Rosters are already in.
STB all day.
It's official. You can't trade nobody. You can't trade nobody until December 15th. That means that we stuck with this dude for 2 months. Now, what are the options here? We could either play this dude, which is going to make this situation way worse.
Not to
he ain't
cut you
listening to
off,
nobody.
that's
Or we
interesting
could keep
you say that. So was there a deadline to trade him before the next deadline in December that you're talking about?
Absolutely. We had
Okay,
we had the whole
so
summer
the
to do it.
cutoff is the tip-off, the opening night.
Yeah, once we got rosters finalized, the first opportunity you have to trade somebody is
That's
December
interesting.
the 15th.
Did not know
That's
that.
it. You can't do it. You can't do it. So you got two options. Option number one, we could play this dude, his value, because we could jump out the gate. But that doesn't seem to work because we're at odds. It looks like it's everybody and it's Ben. So that's going to be toxic for my group. Option number two, we could Keyshawn Johnson him. We could Terrell Owens him, where we could tell this dude, go home, we'll pay you, just don't come around here. Now, option number two sounds more viable, simply because we got something going here with this group moving forward, and we're going to have enough nonsense as it is during the season. So we don't want to have this spill over into our season. So we have to make a decision right now. You see what Brooklyn did. So Philadelphia, y'all got to make a decision.
This is my thing. I don't understand what Philadelphia did to me, to be honest with you. They should have known that this relationship between Ben Simmons and the organization was beyond reproach. You know what I'm saying? Like, they should have known what happened during the playoffs, during the regular season, caused irreparable damage to this kid, and he's obviously affected by it. Right. I think the higher ups should have did a way better job at handling this situation. Since Ben Simmons has been drafted, he's pretty much gotten whatever he's wanted, right? They've been real delicate with Ben Simmons. And now, as a parent of 4 years of being delicate to your child, you want to all of a sudden become a disciplinarian. They're going to be rebellious towards you because they're not used to you being a disciplinarian. So I think it's on Philadelphia to cut ties, and I know they're not going to get what the asking price is, but to be honest with you, I think they would have got more in the summer than they'll get later on now. So now they're at a point to where they gotta move him. Teams know that. Teams know that they gotta move him.
Absolutely.
So instead of asking for 4-1s or whatever the hell they was asking for, they should have just talking about we not finna take role players. Well, I get it. You don't have to take role players, but you could have sent them to a team and put some contingencies behind the picks, like to protect each other. Hey, if this guy stays upright or if he plays with us for X amount of games, this turns into an unprotected pick or whatever the case may be. They could have structured this deal to where it's comfortable for both sides. You get 2 first-round picks. I'm guaranteeing you, let's say 45% of the league probably would take Ben Simmons for 2 first-round picks and a player right now. Right now.
So now basically what you're getting is you're getting whatever you can get as opposed to what you want, which you could have done that in the summertime, but instead you want to be greedy. If you thought that you could work it out, you should have worked it out.
This is what I think the Sixers' plan was. I think they was trying to use the trade, the outlandish trade that nobody would take, as a way to show Ben Simmons, see, look, we care. We care about you. But it didn't work. Yeah. So now you're in a situation where you're going to have to move him for less. And I don't know where the Sixers is going to go from here because like you said, once the captain says he's out, more than likely he's probably speaking for 80% of that locker room. Of course, Ben Simmons might have a few people that's on his side and feel where he's coming from. But majority of that locker room, if Ben Simmons steps up and says what he says, more than likely that's exactly what it is. But we're gonna segue to some football. That's
Mm-hmm.
an interesting topic. I don't think that's gonna be dead. I think it's a lot that's gonna come from this Ben Simmons saga, and we will keep y'all up to date and give y'all conversation as soon as we know more
Absolutely.
about it. Cause man, they say right now the suspension is one
Mm-hmm.
game, but him being suspended, how much does it really matter if the dude didn't intend on playing anyway? So but
Right.
anyway,
And how important is it to bring that around your group? Because to get, especially in the Eastern Conference, how stacked
yeah,
the Eastern Conference is, and how important it is to get off to a good start. How important
no
it is to get
doubt,
off to a good start. And if you bringing this into your unit, and this can spill over into the season, this could cause a huge problem. It's already a
yeah.
problem as it is, but it can cause an even bigger problem, and you
Injuries
don't want
happen,
that.
man. You don't want to be trying to scratch and claw mid to late season to make the playoffs. So if I was them, they needed to get rid of Ben Simmons, regroup, start over, get you some future picks, and just look
Mm-hmm.
forward towards, this tough Eastern Conference that you got to succumb. So I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what they doing with it. I don't like the way they handling it. I think it could have been handled way better, but those are the details, and this is where we are. But
Yeah.
let's
Yep.
talk. Let's talk about some football for a quick bit before we get right back to basketball. The Buffalo Bills, right? Tennessee Titans. That was a hell of a game. Hell of a game. Thriller. Hell of a game. But 4th and 1 with an opportunity to tie the game. They like on the 2-yard line. I'm wondering what the hell they gonna do. They decide to run the ball with Josh Allen. Nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with that because Josh
Right.
Allen has been a primary running back for this team since he's been drafted. Let's be honest. They've been in search for that type of running game, and they haven't been able to find it. We saw early success from Zach Moss. We thought Devin Singletary would be the guy, but it's null and void. Josh Allen led this team in rushing last year. You know what I'm saying? So 4th and 1, they go for it. They don't get it. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, they crazy as hell. They should have just took the points, went to overtime. But we got to understand, Derrick Henry is a
Mm-hmm.
man amongst boys. Derrick Henry is the best running back in the league. I'm tired of playing games. I'm not playing no more games with it. Damn the
Mm-hmm.
CMC shit. Damn the Delvin Cook shit. Both of them guys can't stay healthy, and it's becoming a consistent thing. Derrick Henry is here, and he's here to stay. He ain't going nowhere. They don't have a Derrick Henry in the backfield of Buffalo, unfortunately for them, but they do have a Josh Allen, who's a 6'6", 240-pound guy who can make these plays. But they go for it. They don't get it. Game is over. Doug McDermott with the aggressive call. I actually like the aggressive call. Get the game over with.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't been able to stop these guys all night. Now, if my defense was playing better than it was, I probably would have considered taking 3, risking not getting the flip in overtime. But due to the fact that we couldn't stop Henry, what Henry go for?
20 for
143, 3
143.
touchdowns. Derrick Henry can drag you by himself. There's no stopping this guy. He's been this way. Josh Allen goes for 353, 3 touchdowns and an interception. He had a solid game. Stephon Diggs and Emmanuel Sanders, I like what they got going on, what they built with that wide receiver core over there. Those two guys are dogs. They just need a dog in the backfield that they don't have. But I'm not mad at the coach's call to go for it on 4th and 1. Whoever says they angry at it, whatever, it is what it is. I want to hear, what you got to say about it. If you are mad about it, inbox me. Let me know on TikTok, whatever the case may be. But I'm not against it either way. You take the points, you go to overtime, you risk losing to Derrick Henry, right? You go for it on 4th down, you get aggressive, you get it. The whole conversation changes. What a great call! What a great call! How to way to be aggressive.
Absolutely. Uh-huh.
That's just how I feel about the
Mm-hmm.
situation. It could have went either ways, but I like the
Right.
aggressiveness. What about you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But here's my question to you, nephew. Why are we not giving Devin Singleton the ball more? Five carries yesterday
That's
for
true.
27 yards. That's 5 a carry. How about we involve him more? Right? I understand that Josh Allen is the guy on
Yeah.
offense where he's the ball handler. He's looking great when he's in the pocket. He's looking great even when he gets flushed out the pocket. On the run, he's involving Stephon Diggs. He's involving Cole Beasley. He's involved in all of these guys offensively. Absolutely. But the difference is, because when I look at what Buffalo did, they won the time of possession. They won the turnover battle.
Yeah.
They won the 3rd down battle. So what was the difference in the game? The difference in the game was we got Derrick Henry and you don't. That's the difference in the game right there. Why am I saying that? Because I'm looking at a guy in Derrick Henry who they stuck to the run. Derrick Henry's got 4 carries for 8 yards in the first quarter. This isn't working. Okay, what are we going to do? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to stick with the run. You know why? Because he's going to bust one open. Don't worry.
Commitment.
Just keep
that's
going to
a lot
him.
of teams, when you got a guy like that, that's all you have to do is just commit to the run.
Yep, because he's going to bust one open. And I'll be damned if 76 yards later, 76 yards later, he ain't
Derrick
in the end
Henry's
zone
so damn
and the place
sneaky
is going
fast,
nuts.
man. To be a 200, this man is 6'3", 250
is.
some odd pounds, 260 pounds, man. This man is LeBron in a football uniform.
Well, not only that, you got to take under consideration when he get into that secondary.
They not trying to touch that, man.
Them cornerbacks, they don't want to tackle him with a downhill.
And he know they going low. He dropping that stiff arm on him like, move out of the way.
I'm telling you, right here, October the 19th, 2021, Derrick Henry makes the case for league MVP. I'm giving it to you right here. I said it. And why am I saying it? Derrick Henry right now, he's on pace to break LaDainian Tomlinson's touchdown record, which was 28. He's also on pace to run for 2 stacks again this season. So 2 stacks again, because he leads the league in rushing and rushing touchdowns. So he's on pace to run for over 30 touchdowns and 2 stacks again. Good luck trying to keep it away from him. Good luck.
Derrick Henry rushes for 2,000 yards in back-to-back seasons, he should retire because he's going straight to the Hall of Fame. You got nothing else to do. You could literally hang your hat on the fact that, especially if you do it in 16 games with the new game, if you do it before the extra game matters, and you could hang your hat on that.
You got an extra game.
Derrick Henry is a man amongst boys, and he's putting the league on notice, especially me. I was going back and forth with the situation. I was, 3 years ago, Zeke is the best. 2 years ago, Derrick Henry's the best. Then I'm like, no, CMC is the best. Now I'm back. Derrick Henry's the best. Look, I'm tired of playing this teeter-totter game. So from here on out, you heard it here. From here on out, Derrick Henry is the best running back in the game until proven otherwise.
Hey, whoa. Stop right there. Because what I don't want is I don't want to hear this next week when Chubb go for 175 on 22
It's
catches.
not happening.
I don't want to hear that, Beast.
He's my guy. I'm all in. The chips is in the middle of the table. I got my house on it. Derrick Henry is the best running back in football. Ain't nobody else taking that spot. Look, I'm going to treat him. Look, let me tell you something. I'm so in on. I'm going to treat this man like I treated LeBron James. When LeBron James became the best player in the world, it was going to take him to lose it more than it was going to take somebody to gain it. That's why it took me so long to let go of that. People since 2015 been trying to give it to somebody else. Oh, Steph went 73-9. He's the best player in the world. Oh, KD just hit the shot of all shots in his face. He's the best player in the world. Giannis just won a title. He's the best player in the world. Kawhi Leonard, he's the best player in the world. They tried so many times to give it to so many people, and I stood my ground on that because it was, for me, up to LeBron to lose it more than it was for somebody else to take it from him. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at with Derrick Henry.
This is where you are right
now.
Derrick
Henry has to be pretty much inconsistent, injury prone, fall off the map, and somebody else has to be sustainable enough to where I say, okay, he's taking the spot before I give it up. Because right now, Derrick Henry should be the consensus #1 best running back. It's a lot of Browns fans making a case for Nick Chubb, and I get it. He may be more efficient, but he's splitting carries, so he gets to take a break. This man ain't coming out for nobody. And that's why that's one of the biggest reasons why I had CMC ahead of him or the totem pole, because CMC don't come out the game. He don't come out the game. He blocks. He can catch. He can run routes. When you get 100 catches, over 1,200 yards on the ground, less than 300 carries, efficient, CMC is a dog when he's on the field.
Well, you can make the case that CMC is the best all-purpose back in the game because he does everything. Now, in terms of a primary ball carrier and a workhorse back, ain't nobody touching Derrick Henry. And he just does so much for that offense. He makes Ryan Tannehill look so much better setting up the play action because teams got, when you talk about Buffalo in particular, Buffalo had 8 guys in the box last night, minimum. They had 8 guys in the box, which was why A.J. Green was so open, which was why Julio Jones was so open, which would also explain why David Long
That's what I'm
had
saying.
14 tackles last
They hard
night
to defend.
because they was up on him. And what you also have to give credit to Beast is you got to give credit to that Tennessee offensive line because they do work up on that offensive line in terms of pushing that they dominated at the line of scrimmage. Absolutely, they did, making holes for Derrick Henry, making things work for him. So I'm definitely in on
100%.
what
I love
Tennessee
it.
is
You know,
doing. No question about it.
I love it. I think
I'm
Tennessee
definitely
is
in
like
on what
4-2
they're doing.
right now on the back of Derrick Henry. Look, like I said, to reiterate, he's the best running back in the league, and there's nothing nobody can say about that. But there's another guy that I mentioned. I used to think he was the best running back in the league, and that's Ezekiel Elliott. The Dallas Cowboys have now won 5 games in a row. And I remember, early in the season, you said, hey, Beast, slow down, I ain't got no faith in them boys, I said, look, man, they look nice. On paper, they look nice, which they do every year, so I get it. But they actually executing. They got this kid. His name is Trevon Diggs. He might have better hands than his brother. Another pick 6. One question I have for you is, are the Cowboys for real this time now that you have a bigger sample size than what you had before? And 2, Trevon Diggs, man, he's got to be a lock for Defensive Player of the Year. Got to be a lock for it.
While we
You said that last week.
Remember what I just said? Remember what I said about Derrick Henry? Well, we got the same argument with Trevon Diggs.
It's crazy to even think that.
What I want to put out there is I want to put out there that in the 1993 season, okay, in the 1993 season, Prime. Who was the best cornerback you ever seen, Beast? In 1993, Prime had 7 picks, over 300 yards in returns. Trayvon, and he didn't finish in the top 5 in MVP. I'm sorry, he finished 3rd in MVP votes, right? Trayvon Diggs,
6.
we halfway through the season, and he got that with 150 yards. 7.
Oh, that was
7 yesterday. Okay? That was 7 yesterday. So we halfway through the season, and he got 142 yards on return. So if we keep up this pace, we're looking at 250-plus yards. The positions that he gives Dallas on defense, how he shuts the field in half, how he completely disrupts that defense. That offense, whoever they're playing. We have to consider him for league MVP. I'm not saying that he's a lock, but we absolutely have because we haven't seen anything like this from from anybody.
The last ball hawking corner like this. You got to go back to like Antonio Cromartie with the Jets. You got to go back to like Revis. Even Revis didn't pile up picks like this. I'm trying to think of playmakers that play corner. Antonio Cromartie, like guys like that. Like I can't even really think like multiple like double-digit interception guys. The last guy was Antonio Cromartie. And it's like this dude here, Trevon Diggs, is so scary. I heard NFL players, coaching staffs communicating with their quarterbacks. I was watching this segment. This segment said, somebody asked the question. It was one NFL player to the next, a former NFL player. They said, what do you do when you face a guy of Jalen Ramsey's caliber, an elite corner like that? And he was just talking about facing a Ty Law, facing these elite corners from back in the 2000s. And he was like, listen, the game plan was just, we're not finna go that way. Unless you're wide open, we are not game planning for you this week. And you got a guy special like Marvin Harrison, special like Steve Smith, special like Randy Moss, special guys. And their quarterbacks and offensive coordinators are telling them you may not get the ball this week because you got to see Ty Law. Like that's how crazy it is. And that is so and that's a guy like Ty Law, right? Imagine a guy with just as good a playmaking ability, potentially, as the wide receiver he's up against. That's the scary part. He's not only a threat to disrupt the pass, but he's a threat to take it in for 6. That was Primetime's element. That's why he played both sides of the field. Primetime was such a threat, not only to stop the play, break the pass up, but he's a threat that if it's in the vicinity, he's catching it and he's taking it for 6. The cliche about cornerbacks is Well, they corners because they don't have good enough hands to be wide receivers. That's what
That's who corners are. Cornerbacks are wide receivers that can't
exactly.
catch.
So
That's
they
who
say,
cornerbacks
you
are.
can't catch, you fast,
That's
nice
who cornerbacks
frame.
are.
We just gonna put you at defensive back. That's the cliche, you know.
Right. Now let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this, and I ain't saying that he is. How close is Diggs to Ramsey?
Ramsey is still the best corner in the league. Now we're not gonna get too far ahead of this.
Now we that's why I'm asking.
I
How
like
close is he to
Jair
Ramsey?
Alexander. I like Jalen Ramsey. I like Xavier Howard, even though he looked like he's tapped out in Miami. I still love me some Xavier Howard.
He's out.
You know, it's a lot of Trey White. I still love me some Trey White. It's a lot of Marlon Humphrey. You know, it's a lot of great corners in this league. But I think with the trajectory that Trayvon Diggs is on right now, if he keeps this up the rest of the season, right, he's already making a name for himself. So if he keeps this up for the rest of the season and then starts the next season on this same trajectory, it's time to start putting him in that conversation with Jalen. Because right now, he's knocking on the door of that top 5. I don't want to say he's better than these guys that's been doing it for the past 5 years. I'm not ready to do that because that'd be recency bias. But if this man could exhibit some type of consistency over, let's say, a 20-game span, like if they get to the playoffs and he's showing out, regular season pops, first game of the week he gets a pick 6, he's for real. This ain't a fluke.
Well, the reason why I'm saying this to you, Beast, is because there's a reason why the Cowboys is number 1 in the league in offense. There's a reason why they second in rushing. There's a reason why they 5th in passing. A lot of that has to do with Trayvon Diggs and the position that he gives them on defense when he's getting
Steve
picks,
Smith is not top 10 all time.
Picks and when he's
my bad. Yeah.
No, he isn't. Steve Smith is not a top 10 wide receiver all time. He's awesome, but he's actually Steve Smith is a really quick. Steve Smith is a poor man's Marvin Harrison. That's who Steve Smith is. But anyway, what I'm saying is the position that he gives them on defense, where he puts them in a position where they're not deep in the red. They're not deep in their own territory. A lot of times they're in their own red zone now. A lot of times the field is cut in half, and that's primarily because of Trayvon Diggs. So when I think about him and what he's doing, I gotta consider him not just for the defensive player of the year. I'm off that. MVP. I gotta start thinking about him.
And it's crazy because I can't even think of the last defensive player to win DPOY or to win MVP. I think it was Lawrence Taylor. And
1985 was Lawrence Taylor.
My record says Lawrence Taylor. Like that's so long ago. Like that's 30, right? Like
35 years ago.
And Trayvon Diggs, you like
35
he
years
got to
ago.
get over 10. He got to get over 10 interceptions because Cromartie had, I think, 10 or 11. He didn't get it. Night Train Lane had the record is 14, I think, by Night Train Lane, and Trayvon Diggs is on pace to shatter that.
Well, I tell you what, too, Beast. When I look at this Cowboys offense, they just and I'm not jumping out the window yet because opinion. I know the Cowboys. I seen 12 and 4. I seen 13 and 3, and I also seen bounced in the divisional round. I also seen served in the wild card game. I seen that, so I'm not jumping out the window. However, this offense is humming. Dak looks so comfortable back there. We got the two-headed monster in Zeke and Pollard. They look like they're just, and Zeke looks like he's in mid-season form from Zeke before. I'm not buying this whole, Zeke looked like he lost a step. Well, no, he doesn't. Zeke, no, he does not look like he lost a step. Zeke looked like he is still rolling. And when you talk about that receiving core with Cooper and the rest of those guys, that offense just looks like they know what they're doing and they have it together. And the catalyst to that is Dak. He's the one who has them rolling. He's at the line of scrimmage,
and that's what I love
changing
about it.
Plays and getting them. Oh, he's at the line of scrimmage changing plays. He's at the line of scrimmage getting one-on-one matchups, and he knows exactly what's going on out there. Which, again, I'm not going to jump out the window, but as of right now, 6. They look really
I can't
good,
even fight it either. Like I knew they was going to run away with this division. Like the play calling by this Boise by Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore.
It's ridiculous, man. Like he's so on point. It's like second nature. And I just look at some of these guys when they get done playing, and it's like, if you so good up here, why couldn't that transition to the field? Like Tony Romo literally called that touchdown play to CeeDee Lamb. He saw the formation that they was in. He like, hey, this is not a run. They may play action and take a shot here. But a timeout was called or some whistle was blown, maybe some type of foul, I don't remember. So they go right back to that play like 6 plays later, and that ended up being the same play that Tony Romo predicted. He said it on the show, hey, remember that play? That's it. That's the same play. Look at the formation. He called it. Like, not to say that Romo was garbage when he played because he was solid. He was just a little bit inconsistent. But I don't know, man. The Cowboys look good for the first time on both sides of the ball. And they spent all of their money, all of their time trying to figure out that side of the ball. And I think they figured out because while they was doing that, they stumbled across this kid, Trevon Diggs. He is a man amongst boys. And I can't wait to see how far he can take this team. Like, he's single-handedly carrying his defense. But it's an undefeated team in the NFL, right? The Arizona Cardinals. They haven't been undefeated since the 1970s. Shout out to the Arizona Cardinals, man. Them boys is balling. They just acquired one of the better tight ends in the league in Zach Ertz. That is like, adding fuel to the fire. That's completing what they got going on. And with this team getting another convincing win, making it look easy, Kyler is just light work. They just throwing the ball all over the yard. They got a running game now with Chase Edmonds and John Connor. It's like they can't be stopped. They got everything they need. At 6-0, can you see a team physically beating these guys? Do they have the potential that I thought the Bucs had to go undefeated? I'm looking at this schedule. They got Houston, Green Bay, San Fran, beatable, Carolina, frauds, Seattle, injured, Chicago, very beatable. Tough matchup against the Rams, but they are at home. Then they got Detroit.
Which, by the way, before you go any further, don't forget that they did go to Los Angeles
on a silver platter.
Let's not.
And the second matchup is at home. Okay. So although the Rams might want some revenge, but if they still rolling to this point, I don't see why they couldn't serve them again. And they got Detroit, and they finish it off with Indianapolis, Dallas, and Seattle. So it's like, I'm looking at this, and maybe I see 2 teams that have a legit shot at beating them.
So we're looking at 15-2.
And that's just the potential.
That's what we're looking at right now.
Like, who's to say that it doesn't happen? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I'm looking at this unit in Arizona where they in the top 10 in both passing and rushing, right? And like you just said, with Chase Edmonds as the running back and Connor. But DeAndre Hopkins and AJ Green, they've been such the difference. And now we're gonna add Ertz to this. Yep. Now we're gonna add him to the mix. That's gonna be even better, right? Because Kyler Murray has basically been lights out. He in the top 10 in yards, he in the top 5 in touchdowns, he lead the league in passer rating, and he 3rd in the league in QBR. And I'm pretty sure that me and my nephew here had a conversation before the season started, and he asked me who I thought would lead the league in touchdowns. And I told him, watch out for Kyler Murray, because I saw what they were doing with that offense, and I saw what they was doing on the edges. That defense, they get to the quarterback more than anybody. They get to the quarterback, and they disrupt things in the backfield. They're one of the best rush defensive teams. I'm disappointed in how the NFC West is panning out. No Russ because he's out for about 2 months, so Seattle goes to the bottom of that division. My 49ers haven't been what I thought they were going to be, and the Rams, I'm still high on the Rams, but Arizona looks like they are the real deal.
Man. I like what I'm seeing from Arizona, 6-0, and I only see 2 potential teams. There's always that one sleeper team that sneak one out, like a Detroit will catch you, on your sick day, and kick you while you ain't looking. So you got to watch out for teams like that. They're real sneaky. But speaking of sneaky, I think the Miami Dolphins, I figured out why they tried to be sneaky and grab Deshaun Watson and be so heavily invested in Deshaun Watson, because I frankly don't think Tua is the guy. The Miami Dolphins just lost. I know it was early in the morning, London, but y'all mofos lost to the worst team in the National Football League. And I know the Jags for the last couple of weeks been flirting with a victory. They've been right there on the brink of it. Then they'll lose control of the game. Like I always say, bad teams find a way to lose games, especially close ones. But Tua Tagovailoa hip replacement hasn't been playing terrible, but he hasn't been anything of what the Dolphins predicted. He looks nothing like he looked at Alabama. I think Tua Tagovailoa goes 47 passes in this game. He throws for 329 yards and 2 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But, it's like this is what makes me frustrated about this game, right? Miami won this game from every facet. They only turned the ball over one time. They won on third down. They had more yards than Jacksonville. How the hell did they lose this game? And it's like, usually those are stats you look at and you say, that's a bad team right there. Well, Miami, no wonder why Xavier Howard is checked out. Byron Jones has checked out. These guys on defense have checked out.
Mm-hmm.
Like Miami, it's very
and
noticeable.
It's noticeable too. And it's noticeable. It's not like it's a situation where you can look at this group and go, okay, so what's the problem here? Why isn't Xavier Howard doing what he did last year? Why hasn't Tua improved from where he did last season? Well, it doesn't look like they are in sync. When I look at that defense, they look like they're all over the place. Xavier Howard looks like he's the only guy who's barking out orders. When I look at their front four, they're getting dominated every game. They're getting pushed around. They were shut out earlier in the season in terms of their offense. This team just looks like they're completely out of sync. And I don't think it's coaching because they got a good coach down there with the Miami Dolphins. They got a really good coach there. But I think that the problem that we have is that unit is out of sync. And you may have the wrong personnel and you may have the wrong quarterback. And you might have the wrong quarterback. Now, I'm pretty confident that if the Houston – I'm glad you mentioned that because – you the GM. My nephew is the GM for the Houston Texans, and the phone rings. What's the asking price for Deshaun Watson?
I won't. If I'm the general manager,
what's the asking price? Your phone just rang. What's the asking price? What's the starting? What's getting me in the door?
At least minimum. That's starting point. Minimum 2 1s. And I want Tua. So minimum 2 1s. Give me Tua. And we'll as Houston, they'll figure it out from there because now I
don't see why Miami wouldn't figure it out. I don't see why Miami would not do that.
Give me 2 1s and 2. Wouldn't do that. So that's essentially 3 1s.
2 1s and 2
that's 3 1s.
For Deshaun Watson, absolutely. Yeah. There's no way that they would not do that. You'd be nuts.
That's what I'm. If I'm Houston, the general manager's getting fired. What's the guarantee that they pull themselves out of this situation? So you getting Tua back, now you get a quarterback. Maybe you get to see what he's like in a different element. Maybe you get to see what you got in him before you make a further decision because you got 2 1s, right? So if you get 2 1s, correct. Deshaun Watson probably not going to play this year. That team is going to be bad if they give them Deshaun Watson to take Tua. So now that first-round pick you got is going to be a top 10 pick, top 5 pick potentially. You know what I'm saying? So now you guaranteeing success with that top 5 pick. And who's to say, I mean, if you added Deshaun Watson, I think they could potentially be a playoff team, with the receivers that they got over there. They got the young kid, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Parker. The running game is a little bit suspect, but they can shore up that offensive line. And when you got a guy like Deshaun Watson, the whole locker room, the whole aura changes because they know now we got a potential to win every single game as long as we got that guy.
Right. And you got a dynamic personality, so he's going to bring other people down there.
So
other people that's going to come there to want to play with him.
You got a top 5 pick in next year's draft if you do this deal. I would do it, and I don't see why Miami wouldn't pull the trigger on something like that. I think 60% of the league would pull the trigger on something like that for Deshaun Watson. But the Ravens beat a tough team in the Chargers. They didn't just beat the Chargers. They scraped the Chargers. And what's crazy about it is I feel like if the Chargers performed better, just on a minimal basis, it didn't even have to be what Justin Herbert and these boys has been giving us all year. Just give us something on a minimal basis. Better than what he did. I think Justin Herbert goes, let's see, what did Justin Herbert do? Herbert goes, I think I had it written down here. It don't even matter. He had like a
I'm just looking at him going 6 for 11 on the blitz. That's all. I'll just start there. 6 for 11
Herbert
on the blitz
went
for 57 yards.
He didn't even get 200 yards passing in this game, which is a rarity for Justin Herbert, right? Lamar Jackson didn't play well. They surely got dominated by this defense and the running game of the Baltimore Ravens. They look like they just did what they wanted to do. Latavius Murray, Le'Veon Bell scored a touchdown. Every one of their running backs scored a touchdown. It was like, you get a call, you get a call, you get a call. Le'Veon Bell, I can't even remember the last time I seen him in the end zone. I didn't know who the hell he was standing in that backfield as number 17. I'm like, who is this? A wide receiver? Like, these new rule changes with these numbers, man. Like, I don't get it, but I seen him in the backfield. I'm like, why is that not Latavius Murray? Because I got Latavius Murray on my fantasy team. I'm like, why is that not Latavius Murray? They tweaking. Then it's Le'Veon Bell. I'm like, okay. Well, I see my man We Hoop and go crazy on TikTok. I'm like, what's going on? But the Baltimore Ravens dominated this game. So I'm asking you this. Did we hop on this Chargers bandwagon too quick? So there's nothing to fear here. No panic. No, this is just a game. We just ball it up and throw it away and move on to the next one.
My junior year in college, we go and we play the University of Nevada. It's on ESPN. Beats, when I tell you that they put a foot to our ass, stomped us. Coach comes in the locker room after the game and he says, you would expect him to, to get into us about, right? Nah. He came in and he said, quote, there's going to be a game where you're going to get your ass kicked and there's going to be no explanation. And that was tonight. What you saw with, I'm not even a Chargers fan, and I can tell you right now, I didn't appreciate that ass whooping at all. I did not. Okay? I did not. I'm not a Chargers fan. And I ain't like that one bit. It was the lowest time of possession that they had.
Ravens
that
dominated the time of possession.
They doubled them in downs. Rush yards destroyed. We're talking about a Chargers team that rushed for 26 yards for the game. For the game, 26 yards, 327 total yards for Baltimore.
Justin Herbert usually.
We're talking about this. We're talking about destroying these dudes. So I think that was just an anomaly. I'm not sold on. I am sold on Baltimore. No question about that. But let's make sure that we don't mistake me saying that just because beat the Chargers the way they did that I'm not sold on Baltimore. I do think that's the best team in the AFC North. No, I think they better than Cincinnati. I think they better than Cleveland.
I don't think
they better
it's
than
close
Pittsburgh.
either.
No doubt about that. And I don't think it is neither. However, I think that what you saw, I think that what you saw on Sunday, I think that was just an anomaly. That's not something that you can expect. I expect a completely different performance from them next week. And I'm not sold on what I just saw. I'm going to take this, I'm going to ball it up.
To piggyback off what you said, the anomaly isn't the performance from the Ravens. The anomaly is the way the Chargers underperform. Just to make that clear to the audience, the anomaly is the way the Chargers underperform. And I 100% agree with that. Mike Williams and Keenan Allen have been dogs all season long. These boys was held to under 100 yards combined. That's crazy. But
27 yards.
Bro, it was nasty, man. Nasty, man. But
come on, man.
Basketball is here. Basketball is here. Opening night tonight. I believe we got a game going on, and we got the Lakers starting up at 9 o'clock. If anybody could let us know the score of this Nets game, what is the score of this Nets game? You got it?
I can tell you right now. They up by
the
18.
Nets?
Yeah, they up by 18 right now.
I was finna say they came back and took a lead like that. What the stats looking like, man? What is
straight serving these boys? That's all I can tell you
on
right now.
On a silver platter, they serving them like that.
Serving these boys. And like I said, I felt good about Milwaukee coming into this game tonight, and the reason why I felt good about them, I didn't have them smoking Brooklyn. No way about that. I did not have them smoking Brooklyn. However, what I did have is I did have them handling them. I had them handling them specifically because everybody talked last year about Brooklyn was hurt and this was a fake championship. And I had Milwaukee coming in and making a statement to let y'all know, yo, we're not going nowhere. We're going to be around for a long time. And Giannis has that mid-range in his game. And I think that I've had this conversation with you before, yo. When you've seen guys have that kind of jump in their game, Bryant, Diesel, Jordan, James, where they just got it figured out, what ends up happening is their teams, they start to go on what we
Mm-hmm.
call runs, where now we own the league. And you do, and I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying that Milwaukee's going to win it, even though I do have them. I told you that
Comes
the
through
road to the NBA
Milwaukee.
championship
Yeah.
goes through Milwaukee. Absolutely, it does. Don't be surprised. Do not be surprised to see these dudes in late June
I'm
in the
not mad
NBA
at that
Finals.
take,
Do
man.
not be.
I'm honestly not mad at it because I feel like they want to duplicate the success that they garnered and prove that it wasn't a fluke. Elite Beast Gaming comes in with the stats. You know, I'm trying to figure out what's going on out here in these games. They say they're getting smoked. Bucks is up. They up.
They up 17.
It's crazy.
112 to
Giannis
95.
got
Smoking these
what
dudes.
Giannis got? Giannis
Smoking
got
these
32
dudes.
and 13. Hell of a game opening night for Giannis Antetokounmpo. He say Harden got 28 and 8. I mess with James Harden heavy. What he say? He's improving every time. Yeah, Giannis Antetokounmpo is a dog, and he's a man amongst boys. And I'm telling you, if he get that shot down, it ain't a damn thing nobody can do about it. But we got the Lakers in the late game. Lakers versus the Warriors. Who you think gonna pull that one out?
I think that the Lakers handle these dudes, and I think that they handle them strictly off the strength of veteran leadership. We got more vets than you, and we got guys that've been around longer. They still have to deal with this Klay Thompson situation. They talking about him not coming back till January, and now it's maybe he's out 2 months. They don't really know exactly what it is. I like what they're doing in terms of their young guys. I'm big on James Wiseman. I was big on him last year. I'm going to be big on him this year. I know how you are about big guys like that, but I'm big on James Wiseman. I think that 11 and 6 turns into 15 and 8 this year. No question about that. And if they're getting that from him, they're going to improve drastically because he's a better rebounder. He's going to be a better rim protector. He's going to be a better defender, which is what they need. Jordan Poole looks like he might be able to contribute to what they're doing. Andrew Wiggins is 18 a game walking in his sleep. Andrew Wiggins shows up to the arena, he's going to give you 18. He might look like he's disinterested, but I don't care what you say. When you're talking about 18 a game, 18 a game is 18 a game. So you're going to get that from him. However, with the Lakers, they just have so many veterans, and they have so many guys that have not only just been there, that they understand what exactly is at hand. We're trying to win this thing. And because we're trying to win it, we got to get on the same page. And I think that they handle
I
Golden
agree.
State tonight.
I mean, you pretty much laid it out flat. Like you say, I really like Jordan Poole this year. I think he's got something to offer them, and he's going to play some big-time minutes with Klay Thompson out. You know, I don't believe in Wiseman at all. Like, I really don't.
Why, though? What's your problem with him,
I
man?
just think Wiseman is unless he works on his game, because I think he went into the offseason hurt. I think he suffered a major injury of some sort. Knee, I knew it was some leg injury of some sort, which could hinder him working on his game, and he needs to severely work on his game. I know the kid's only 19, 20 years old. He's real young. He's real raw.
Right.
He's got a lot of time to develop. I need to see that. I need to see that happen because from what I was seeing last year, I didn't like it. Trying to shoot jumpers, he's solid. You know, he can get streaky at times, but, you know, when he gets his touches, to me, he wasn't maximizing them. I didn't see any dominance. And if you're going to be a big that's not dominant, you need to be finesse. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not going to be Shaq, give me Hakeem. Right. Give me Embiid. You know, I'm cool with that. But I didn't when he tried to be finesse, it was sloppy. Nothing smooth about his game. I'm done with the kid. Now, he's going, until proven otherwise, when I'm entitled.
You're going to eat those words.
Maybe I'll eat them, but I'm entitled to change my opinion when provided with new information. And as of right now, what was he, 13 and 6? Gabricio. That's what he was. You ain't even got to tell me the stats. He was garbage, dumpster material. Real talk. I don't know. Maybe he could show me otherwise. But somebody in your live, and you was going off in your live yesterday. I stayed in there for about a good 10 minutes, 15 minutes watching you perform. You know, you was doing your thing. I seen you. You know, somebody in your live said Kobe is the most skilled player ever. Kind of ticked you off. I seen the look at your face. Yeah, you had the look you got right now. The look you had in your live. It kind of ticked you out. Somebody said Kobe is the most skilled player ever. You disagree, but who do you think is the most skilled player? Now, when it comes in the terms of skilled player, a lot of people like to equate the defensive side of the ball to that. Me, I don't. I like to count. This is why.
Why?
Because even though, how can I put this?
Frankly, that's how I want you to put it. Frankly. That's how I want you, because I'm very interested to hear this. Because it sounds to me like as long as you're nice with the pill and you can score the basketball.
It's all about
no,
scoring. Y'all know
no,
how y'all know
wrong.
if you know me,
So
you know what I like. Okay, look. If I had to choose the most skilled player, I'm going to let you do it. I want to know who you got because I think of offense. If you asking me, I'm going to tell you Kevin Durant. That's
okay.
I
And of course you got me Kevin Durant. You know why you gonna tell me Kevin Durant? Because he's a pretty chick. She got the cute face. She's nice looking. Only except her work ethic, or not even her work ethic, except her skills, her other skills. She looked good in the suit when she come into the office. Is she tight? No. How good is she on Windows? She kind of all right. Well, we don't know that. And you know why we don't know that?
Facts.
Her resume. Because we just looking at the pretty face. So when I think about the most skilled players, I think about the guy on both sides of the basketball. So when I think about Hakeem
I was about
Olajuwon,
to say these guys in the chat, they might have nailed it with Hakeem.
When I think about Hakeem Olajuwon, a guy who plays on the box, who plays 15 to 17 feet away from the basket, who's an elite defensive player, who can pass the basketball, who, by the way, wasn't a basketball player, he was a soccer player with impeccable footwork, who can play in the mid-range. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about skill. Because you can hit a fall-away 22-footer or 13 or 15 or 19 or 25-footer, because you can do that, that's just one aspect of your game. Jordan was incredibly skilled on both sides of the basketball, right? James is incredibly skilled. When I think about the most skilled player, James, Jordan, Olajuwon, guys like that, right? Even Chris Paul, guys like that.
Chris Paul is the best two-way point guard ever. Ever, if you ask me.
I don't know if he's better. I don't think he's better than Jason Kidd, but that's a conversation for another day. Yeah, I don't think he's better than Jason Kidd. No, I don't think so.
No, it's not. Why? Why?
Oh, absolutely.
Hold on, what you got in that drink?
I don't.
Mixed with what?
Right there. I don't think he's better than Jason Kidd.
I know you vegan, but it might be a lot of Vakita in that drink.
Nah, no
Vakita.
Hold on. Not only Vakita. I am perfectly saying when I said that. Chris Paul is not better than Jason Kidd. No, he isn't.
Hold on. Okay, so you don't think Chris Paul is better than Jason Kidd all time?
No, I don't.
Or what are you leveling this off at? You don't think he's a better player, all-around player, period? Like just basketball player? Or you just don't think he's better all time?
I don't think he's a better
But you are aware that Chris Paul is higher than him on the point guard list, right? All time.
As what? Higher than him in what? No.
So you got Jason Kidd ahead of Chris Paul on your –
I do.
We might need to scrap the rest of the show and get into this. This is interesting. I would love to hear give me your top 5 point guards all time. Damn the rest of the show. I don't care about Kobe, Duncan, none of that. I'm putting the script. I'm throwing the script out. This is us. We rapping. We in the barbershop. Give it to me. I need to hear this.
Magic, Stockton, Isaiah, J. Kidd.
Nash is in your top 5.
Point guards all time. Nash is in my top 5 all time. Nash does not play elite on both sides of the basketball. No, he doesn't. But what he brings on the other side of the basketball as a point guard makes up for that. Kind of very much.
You got Nash ahead of Big O.
But he barely. Mm-hmm.
I love me some Steve Nash, but now I'm on the brink of you're overrating him now. Steve Nash is not a top 5 point guard all time. We understand the 2 MVPs. We get all of that. The 50, 40, 90, the efficiency. We get all of that. He wasn't all that defensively. Okay. It was actually sort of a liability,
no, he wasn't.
Right? Now, I get Zeke. You had him at 3, 2? You had Magic.
I do not have Steph Curry, and I've already made this clear why I don't have Steph Curry. And the reason why I don't have Steph Curry, and I've said this before, when you walk into the cafeteria and you see this table that got Magic and Bird and Bill Rupp, when you see them sitting right there, and then you got this table over here with Jordan and James and Chamberlain. There's a table on the other side of the cafeteria, Allen Iverson and Steph Curry, the only 2 sitting at that table. Can't none of y'all come over here because none of y'all do what we do. All of y'all dudes, we different from all of y'all. None of y'all got what we got. None of y'all. So can't none of y'all dudes come sit at this table. Steph Curry is one of 8 guys with multiple championships and multiple league MVPs. He's probably going to break the record as the best long ball shooter in the history of the NBA. Only except Steph Curry ain't never, not one time, averaged double-figure assists. And as a point guard, that has never gone away. As a point guard, you have to pass the ball at an elite level, and he does not. That's why I don't put him in that category.
Here's why I disagree with that notion. I don't think you need to average double-digit assists to make yourself an elite point guard. Averaging double-digit assists makes you an elite passer, an elite playmaker. Not even playmaker. It makes you an elite passer. That's a different conversation.
That's what makes you an elite. That's what makes you an elite point guard, though.
What makes you an elite point guard is leadership, IQ, controlling the pace and the flow of the game, and getting others involved. Mm-hmm. Just because getting others involved. Okay, so let me give you an example of what I mean. Russell Westbrook led the league in assists like twice in his career, right? Averaged double-digit assists like 4 times in his career.
Correct.
Would you consider him a better passer than, let's say, LeBron James?
Would I consider him no, because LeBron James averaged once, so he's proven that he's an elite passer. But he's done it. So he's proven that he's in his 17th season. That's first of all. But he's proven that. LeBron James averaged almost 8 assists a game for his career.
But it's not double digits. Right, that's the precedent you set.
No, it's not. I did set that precedent. However, James has proven that he can pass the basketball at an elite level, and you can make the argument that Russell Westbrook is a top 10 point guard all time. One of the main reasons why is because he passes the basketball at an elite level. Now, are there guys better than him who pass the ball at an elite level? So I got a question. Absolutely. Then. But one of the main.
Where's John Stockton in your ranking? I need to hear this. So Stock is second.
Only guy I put ahead of him is Magic. See, that's it.
Just because you are an elite passer does not mean that you're an elite point guard. You're just elite at that skill that pertains to being a point guard. Because Steph Curry's playmaking ability also comes with his ability to just stand on the court and draw doubles off the ball. That's called playmaking as well. Off-ball playmaking. Just because you off the ball don't mean you still can't playmake. Stephen Curry's ability to playmake is different from those prototypical point guards. In essence, he does not need the ball to maintain relevancy and to get and also
that's what a 2 guard is. That's what a 2 guard is. That's what a guard off the basketball. That's what that is. That's not a point guard. Magic Johnson did not playmake off the basketball.
Steph Curry averaged 6 assists for his career, respectively. How many 2 guards in NBA history average 6 assists for their career? You're not gonna find many. You're not gonna find many. Most great ones average 5 on accident, just off drawing doubles, right? So you're not gonna find too many 2 guards averaging 6+ assists. So Steph Curry's not in that category.
Beast, 6 assists. That's one assist a quarter, man. Come on now. What are we talking about here?
But he's still a
quarter. That's it.
He's a score first point guard. Baron Davis will score first. Allen Iverson Allen Iverson technically moved to the 2. He changed his position. Curry's position isn't changed. He's a 6'3" point guard for the Golden State Warriors. So I think he deserves to be in that category just because he doesn't pass the ball. Magic Johnson has the highest assists per game average in league history. So I understand why people believe like Magic Johnson is the greatest point guard of all time. 5-time champion. 3-time MVP? 5? No, 5. How many MVP? 3-time MVP. The whole 9.
3-time league MVP. That's
you know what I'm saying? So I get it. Yes, Magic Johnson should be considered as the best point guard in the league. But to say that Stephen Curry is any less of a point guard than Magic Johnson simply because his way of doing it is different from Magic's, I can't buy that. I can't buy that. Jason Kidd is not a top 5 point guard in this league. He's not better than Oscar Robertson, not better than Zeke. He's not better than Magic. He's not better than Curry. He's not better than Chris Paul, in my opinion. And if Chris Paul is in top 5, he's right outside of the top 5 at 6.
Elite on both sides. Jason Kidd elite on both sides.
He was not elite on the offensive side of the ball, Unc. Jason Kidd is a low teen, bad efficiency. Back when he first came into the league, they said take the J out of his name.
He didn't. Right. And then
later on in his career, like Vince Carter.
How'd that work? Yeah.
Yeah, he developed
he became a long ball shooter.
But
absolutely. Now his field goal percentage, absolutely. It wasn't very good. However, he was a big time scoring point guard.
How was he?
Absolutely,
no, he was not.
Yes, he was. Now I'm not gonna say big time scoring point guard. When I think about big
Magic wasn't even a scoring point guard, but he was a way better scorer than J. Kidd.
Magic was a scoring point guard, no question about that. But when I think about Jason Kidd, I think about all the things that he brought to the game. All the things that he brought to the game. We're talking about a dude who averaged double-figure assists. We're talking about a dude who was elite on the defensive side of the basketball. He was an elite passer. He was an elite playmaker.
That's it. He was not an elite scorer. And it's all about scoring. That's all it's about.
That's all it is, buckets. All you care about is buckets.
If you go look up somebody's stats right now, the first category you're going to see is points. It's a reason. Because that's the most important stat. So all that passing shit, that's cute. All that rebound shit, that's cute. Those steals, I like those steals. Those are cute too. But it's all about scoring. Give me Stephen Curry over any one of them cats except Magic Johnson. I'm not budging on Magic. Magic Johnson dominated his era. I'm not budging on Magic just yet. But give me Stephen Curry second over all of those guys. Isaiah Thomas, all of them guys. Give me Steph. He's a point guard. Just because Steph don't do it the way the others have set the stage to do it doesn't mean he's not doing it. He changed the game. He changed the way people look at the game. That's what he did. So you can't put him in, we just going to sit him over here to the corner. We're not going to compare him to the other point guards. No, he's a damn point guard. Point blank period. And Jason Kidd, if you go look at his on a per game basis, Kidd is a top 10 point guard in my opinion. But to say Jason Kidd is better than Chris Paul, no. Chris Paul, and this is what made me jerk my head back when I made this statement and you mentioned Jason Kidd. I said Chris Paul is the best two-way point guard ever. Jason Kidd, I don't care. You can argue defensively. That's an argument. That's a debate. Who's better defensively between Chris Paul? I think Chris Paul's like a 9-time all-defensive team. Right? That's why I say it's Kidd. Debatable for defensively. Who Chris Paul in his prime was strapped. He's still strapped. So it's debatable defensively between the two. But offense, it's not even close.
Jason Kidd shot, I think he shot around 40 to 42% for his career.
He's
from the floor.
And I don't think he ever averaged 17 points a game. Jason Kidd hovers around 11 to 13 points.
No, that's not true. He averaged 16 plenty of times. Yes, he did. He averaged 50. Yes, he did.
I gotta go to the magic wand again, like we had to do last show.
You don't have to do it because I can tell you right now. He averaged 17 a game multiple times. He averaged 16 a game. He averaged 17 a game.
I can't.
Absolutely. No question about it. Because the last time I talked to you, when you ran off them nonsense numbers with Jabbar,
yes, it's not nonsense. It's facts.
21. It actually was nonsense because what you left out that 22 and 6. He was 36 years old. You completely left out when he was with Magic. No, you left out the 24 and 12. You left out the 23 and 11.
I was talking about the back end of his career. I think a serviceable amount is 8 years. If I'm telling you the last 8 years of somebody's career, I think that's a decent sample size. It's not like I'm telling you, we're going to look at Jabbar's last 3 years. And he's 39, 40, and 41 in them last. No, I gave you damn near a decade of his work with Magic, and all of that was with Magic Johnson. That's what I had to go off. But if we look at that scoring, Jason Kidd, 11, 16, 10, 9, 11, 11, 16, 14, 16, 14, 18. That's the highest he ever had in his career. 15, 14, 13, 13, 10, 11, 9, 9, 10, 7, 6, and 6. How many more times did you hear 18 more, or did you hear 11 more times than 9? Because that's what I think of when I see Jason Kidd. I think of 8 to 11 assists per game and 10 to 13 points. Like I said before, I looked up the numbers.
Like 4, I think he was 14 and 11,
12 and 8,
something like that.
I'm not taking that over
12 and
Chris
8.
Paul.
So what I said, 14 and 11?
Taking that over Chris Paul, who is, like I stated, the best two-way player of all time. Because
and don't leave out that Jason Kidd played 18
Chris Paul
years
is in his
too.
16th season. So with that being, and he looks like he's well on to play 20 seasons, and he's not losing a step. He just came from representing the Western Conference in the NBA Finals, in which he had a closeout game for the books. Chris Paul is still a dog. No point guard in the history of this game plays as fierce defense as Chris Paul with the combination of his scoring paralysis. Chris Paul can average you 20 points a game, get you 10 assists a night while strapping down the other point guard on the other side of the field, on the other side of the court. And that's real talk. If you look at let's look at Chris Paul. Chris Paul's numbers.
I think he's 16 and 10.
I heard a lot of 11s, 8s, and 6s with Jason Kidd because that's what he's known for, that low-quality triple-double. Westbrook is known for the 25, 11, and 10. Jason Kidd triple-double was if a guy got 10, 10, and 10. We call that a Jason Kidd triple-double growing up. That's what we called it. Chris Paul, on the other hand, 16 and 7, 17 and 8, 21 and 11, 22 and 11, 18 and 10, 16 and 10, 19 and 9, 16 and 9, 19 and 10, 19 and 10, 19 and 10. You see the trend? This is a double-digit, almost 20-point-a-night scorer who's averaging double-digit assists a night. He's the best two-way point guard of all time. Now that we've spent 15 minutes on this topic, do I have you convinced that Chris Paul is a better two-way player than Jason Kidd? Still don't. You gonna stick. Nope. That's your plan, and you sticking to it, huh? Nope. Oh, hey, it is what it is. That was that was a great conversation.
Them buckets that you just ran off. I'll eat that. No doubt about that. I'll absolutely
you have the numbers is evident.
Yeah, I'll eat them buckets. But other than that, that's all you get. That's as far as I'm going.
You can make an argument about the defense for both sides. You can make an argument about the playmaking because they both elite level playmakers. But offense, there's no. That's where the discrepancy comes in at. They're not even close. So off that alone should give you the edge, Chris Paul over Jason Kidd. Yeah. That right there. We just broke it down. You would admit, you would admit that the defense.
Go ahead.
Close,
I'm sorry.
Right? It's debatable.
The defense is close. I would absolutely. You can make an argument for Chris Paul in terms of a defender. No question about that. When I think, absolutely.
So what are we
stuck on? Make that argument also. What are we stuck on? Because when I think about Jason Kidd as a transition point guard, when I think about Jason Kidd scoring in transition, now I can appreciate those 17 and 11, 16 and or 19 or whatever. Was he a better scorer? Was that is that the difference? So there has to be something else there where Jason Kidd has because if Chris Paul scores better, hold on,
we getting rated by Legend of Winning. Legend of Winning is rating us. Rating is when, somebody they send all his followers, all his people over here to the chat. I appreciate all of you guys. Legend of Winning, man, you dope, man. I've been following you on YouTube for a while, man. He knows his basketball, He's damn good at his basketball. I appreciate y'all. Stopping through. Legend of Winning is rating us right now, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate y'all stopping through, man.
Thank you very much.
While y'all here, y'all might as well drop us a follow, man. Drop us some subs, man. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all.
Come through. We do this every Tuesday
and Friday night. Legend of Winning sent y'all. I appreciate y'all coming through.
Yes, sir.
Nice jersey.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having us, brother.
Low sent you. I appreciate that. Thanks, Low, man. Holla at me, man. You know where to find me at. Holla at me, bro. I appreciate you, bro. Absolutely, I appreciate you. Bro. W Stream
I was ready to get into this Duncan and Kobe thing. I was.
We could do it on Friday. We could do it on Friday.
Yeah,
that Chris
we'll do that
Paul,
on Friday.
that Chris Paul Jason Kidd debate, we had to stop the show right there. I appreciate that, man. Whoever stopping through from Low Stream, man, drop us a follow if you want, man. We do this every Tuesday night, every Friday night, 8 p.m. Central. We here, man. We here to talk basketball with y'all. We talk some football with y'all. This is what we do.
This is what we do.
You know, we here to put on the show for y'all.
Yeah,
so if y'all like what y'all see, go ahead and drop us a follow. But man, that Chris Paul debate, that Jason Kidd debate, I had to stop it right there because for one, they love it, and for two, I love it, and for three, once I find something we disagree with, I gotta get your take on it because that's what we here for. That's what we doing. But you know, W Raid, man, I appreciate y'all stopping through. Low, like I say, holla at me, man. You know where to find me, man. I appreciate that. Gratitude, my brother. And I guess we can get the hell up on out of here, man. We ran up enough for y'all.
Why? Wait, whoa. Why am I biased? I'm never biased. That is not true. Anybody knows that I am not biased. I give it up to any and every. I don't give it up to just the old heads. I don't give it up to the young heads. I give it up to everybody. Don't talk to me about me being biased. No,
Let's do some questions from the fans real quick. Let's see what y'all got. Y'all say Unc bias. Let's do some questions from the fans real quick. Rein them in. What y'all got? It's 264 people in the stream right now. I appreciate all of you guys. Every single one of y'all. Drop us a follow if you in here, man. If you love sports the way that we do, man.
Hell yeah, I'm mad because I don't like to hear that I'm biased because I'm not biased. Nah. That ain't true. Because if you bias, what you're doing is that your judgment is clouded. And I'm not like I have to look at all facets of the game. So, for example, when you brought up Chris Paul, his ability to score, I can't take that out of the equation. Absolutely. But then I can come back and say Jason Kidd was more durable than him. Jason Kidd was a better defender than him. Jason Kidd was a better playmaker. Stuff like that. I can do that. I can say that. So instead of me just going, no, he ain't better, and that's final. Well, wait a minute. I have to come with some facts as opposed to just not saying that or not saying nothing.
True.
That's not okay.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. So if y'all gonna sit up here and say my man biased, man, you got to give examples, man. You got to let me know. Tell me your case.
Come on, baby.
You know, you got to tell me your case because you never know. If I see y'all consistently in this comments, I might pull y'all up here, sit y'all asses right up there and let y'all explain y'all own piece on this show live on Twitch. We can get it popping.
Absolutely.
You know, if I see you consistently up here, hey, what's to say I won't pull you up here and you know, we could debate this. But let's get some questions from the fans. Somebody asks, is Joel Embiid the top 75 player of all time? Look, let me kick that off. It was a video, my man Jimmy High Roller. Shout out to Jimmy High Roller. I just spoke with him earlier today. I was asking him actually because I watched his video, and I was asking him if I could use some of his material from his YouTube to put it on my TikTok. He gave me the consent to do it. Yeah. That man is a legend. Jimmy High Roller, if you do not know who he is, type that man in on Google. Go give him a follow on YouTube. If you like what I'm telling you, you for damn sure gonna like him. Also, go follow Low, Legend of Winning, man. He just rated us. That's my dog, man. I mess with Legend of Winning. Big fan of his and his man Agent. All them boys over there doing their thing. Big ups to Legend of Winning. But go follow Jimmy High Roller on YouTube. Go follow Legend of Winning on YouTube. But Jimmy High Roller made a video because the NBA is actually supposed to be redoing a top 50. They coming out with a top 75 in December, I believe it is. Greatest 75 players of all time, right? The way Jimmy High Roller dissected his formula to how he came up with the greatest 75 players in league history through statistics and the criteria that he used, go watch the video. It's a W video. But he found Jordan was still number one. All the metrics that he used, and he's a LeBron fan, by the way, Jordan was still number one on his list. LeBron was 2, Kareem was 3. Things didn't start getting out of whack until like the back end of it to where it's like shit can go either way. But to answer your question, if Joel Embiid a top 75 player of all time, no, I don't think so. But when it comes to skill, I believe Joel Embiid is a top 10 most skilled player ever. League history.
Ooh. Yes. Wow.
What you think,
okay. All right. When I think about Joel Embiid as a top 75 player, I'm having a hard time thinking that he's better in the 75-year history of the NBA that he's one of the 75 best players right now. We might be having this conversation in 3 years, and that might change. But as of right now, no,
Somebody
I'm not
asked
go
if King Henry rushes for 2,000 yards again, does that make him a top 10 running back? That's my man KB. Shout out to KB, man. He said if Derrick Henry rushes for 2,000 yards again, does that make him a top 10 running back all time?
4,000 yards in 2 seasons? Who ever done that? 4,000 yards.
I'm sitting over here
seasons.
Thinking about all the guys that have rushed for 2,000 yards, right? You got O.J. Simpson. You got Eric Dickerson. You got Barry Sanders. Chris Johnson. You got Terrell Davis. You got Jamal Lewis, Adrian Peterson, and I believe it's Derrick Henry, and I believe it's one more O.J. Simpson. Those are the 8 guys that rushed for 2,000. Now, guys have come back the following season and rushed for 1,700, even 1,800. ED rushed for 1,800 and then rushed for 2,000. So
think about that.
If Derrick Henry comes out here, even with the extra game, I don't give a damn, and he rushed for 2,000 in back-to-back seasons, it's hard not to make a case for him to be a top 10 running back already in only his 6th season.
And I want to address something real quick. Somebody said, OG, he said that Scottie Pippen was better than Shaq. I want to address this really quick. Yeah. I just want to address this really quick because he just said, OG, he said that Scottie Pippen was better than Shaq. The question that, with the debate that me and my nephew had was Scottie Pippen ever a top 5 player when he was running around with Michael Jordan? And I said in 1995, 96, he was. My nephew here said he wasn't better than he wasn't better than Shaq. And I said he was better than Shaq based on, quote, he was first team All-NBA for 3 straight years, and he was first team All-Defense for the 3rd straight year. That's why he was top 5 in the NBA when he was running around with Jordan. Now, with that being said, since we on that subject, and I ain't gonna hold y'all up too much longer, since we on that subject, just so you know, there have been 7 guys in the history of the NBA who have been on the same team with a first-team All-NBA performer. That would be Jabbar and Magic, Bird and McHale, Malone and Stockton, Scottie and Michael, Kobe and Shaq, Damon Stoudemire. I'm sorry, not Damon Stoudemire. Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire. And who am I? I just had Malone and Stockton. Of those 7 guys, there's only one guy of those 7 guys besides Scottie Pippen that was first team All-NBA 3 times and first team All-Defense 3 times. You know who that was? I believe it was Mr. Kobe Bean Bryant. Tell me if Mr. Bean Bryant was ever a top 5 player when he was running around with Shaq.
That's tough.
Yes, he was. No, it ain't tough. Yes, he was. So if he was, why was Scottie Pippen not? Just don't. Okay, don't. We're done with that.
That's a great point. You can't get away from that fact. That is a great point. But so the 18, I was listening to you said the 8 teams you rambled off were the only 8 teams in league history to have 2 players on the same team be.
No, 7 duos. 7 duos in the history of the NBA. That's it. 7 of them. And in the last 40 years, to be first team All-NBA.
LeBron and Wade didn't do it?
From one team. Nope. Never KD and Steph. Never LeBron
KD
and
Steph
Wade.
Wasn't All-NBA first team? That's crazy.
Nope. Not one time.
That's arguably the greatest duo ever. Absolutely, like from a player standpoint.
And again, the question was he a top 5 player? And I said in 1995, 96, yes, he was. Does that mean he was a top 5 player the entire decade? No. And there's no way I'll commit to that. Absolutely not. I will not commit to that. But was he that year? Yes. That's as far as I'm going.
If Unc said it,
as far as I'm going.
He damn meant it.
Now, of course, you're going to hear people say, well, are you saying that he was better? Are you saying that Scottie was better than Kobe Bryant? Of course you're going to say that. And the reason why you're going to say that is because that's short-sighted thinking. No, what I am saying is if my nephew right here got all A's and he graduated valedictorian and I got all A's, how come I can't graduate valedictorian? Does that mean I'm smarter than him? No. But if he got valedictorian, how come I can't
you know
get
what I'm saying? You got salutatorian. Look.
Right.
See, the way I was approaching the Scottie Pippen argument versus everybody else in the league was just who's the better basketball player? We understand that some of the awards in the NBA can be skewed to accommodate your accomplishment, right? Like if a certain team has a certain amount of success, certain players on that team are going to get rewarded for their success. Does that mean that just because Kevin Durant and Steph Curry didn't get first team All NBA that team and Kawhi Leonard got it over Kevin Durant, does that mean he's better than KD? No. That's my argument to you with this situation. So the Lakers game should be starting up. I want to watch that game. I want to see how they do. I want to see how they do.
Right
we
now.
talked y'all ear off for a good hour and a half. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. All the newcomers. We do this every Tuesday and Friday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. I hope to see y'all here. I see a lot of first-time chatters in the building. Low, again, shout out to Low, legend of winning. Shout out to everybody that rated us, man. We love y'all. Peace and love. Unc, take us home. Yes, sir. We out of here, y'all.